Welcome to sikbaggers YouTube channel. I'm Steve. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ASR seat from Ciro 3D. So we all want that comfortable seat, but we also want one that provides support and reduces fatigue over the long haul. So today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the ASR seat. Now the ASR stands for Adam Sandoval Rides. If you don't know who that is, check out his YouTube channel. So you may be asking yourself, what gives this guy any kind of credibility to design a seat? Well, if you go over there and you check out his website or his YouTube channel, you'll find out real quick this man has put down some serious miles, and I mean serious miles. You may think that you're a cross-country rider, but this man is a cross-country rider. So any kind of input that he can put in on a touring model seat, it's probably going to be good input, and we should probably listen. Now, we've had it on the Street Glide for quite a while. We've been breaking it in. Now, the reason why we haven't done a video on it yet is because I wanted to get it on the bike. I wanted to get it broke in, but plus this seat sells out pretty quick. Now, they just let me know the other day that the seat is in stock right now and you can get one, but you really, if you want one, you need to get them while they're in stock or you're going to have a little bit of waiting time, right? So today we're going to be putting it on the Road Glide ST because I think it's going to be the perfect seat for the ST. Like I said, we've been breaking it in on the Street Glide, but we're going to be moving it over to the ST. Now this is our performance bagger build. If you haven't watched our channel in the past, you can check out our performance bagger build series that we're doing right now. And what's good about the ASR seat, it is a one-up seat, but it also has the rider's backrest and the rear pillion as well. And we'll be installing both of those today. So as you can see, it does come with a solo seat and it doesn't come with any rear passenger pegs, but in the last video we put the torque passenger pegs and the torque floorboards on here, MX style, and we're going to be converting this into a 2-up because right here on the back of the bike where your 2-up seat screw would go, there's just a little plastic plug. So I'm going to show you a little trick on installing the nut that goes into that so you can put a 2-up seat on there. Now if we just quickly kind of go over the seat, we got high grade materials on this thing. You got the ASR logo up at the top. You do have perforated material on the sides right here, and as you can see right down the middle, the spine of the seat is separated and it actually sets down in there a little bit. It's not raised up even with the seat all the way across. It's also going to help support your tailbone. So I've been running this YouTube channel for a long time and I get a lot of questions that guys will come to me and say, hey Steve, what's the best seat for my touring bike? Now that's a tough question to answer, and I don't think there is a honest best seat. It's whatever's the best seat for you. We're all built different, so it's very important that you break this seat in. Any brand new seat that you purchase is going to take 500-600 miles to actually break that seat in to use. So it's very important during the break-in period of the seat, you're not just putting it on a bike and letting your buddies borrow it because it's not going to get broken to you. All seats are pretty stiff when you get them, unless you get one of those big road sofa seats that just has 8 inches of foam and just sets you a foot taller on your bike. Now, like I said, we've had it on the Street Glide for quite a while and we've been breaking it in, and I'm starting to really feel the comfort. We got a little bit of last year's end of the riding season, and we've had a couple of rides at the beginning of the season here now already, and it already feels 100 times better than it was when we first put it on the bike. So if you take a look at this seat, it's been shaved down in the front, kind of narrow, right? And it kind of curves over, and you'll see this better when we actually get it on the bike. But this is going to allow your thighs to get down closer so you're a little bit more flat-footed on the road. It's not so wide here in the front. And this also has gel inserts inside this. The gel insert's good for reducing vibration. It's going to reduce about 50% of the vibration that you feel in your motorcycle, and that carries through on the passenger pillion as well. So just quickly going over the seat, I want to get it over here and get it installed, and then we can talk about it a little bit more. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the stock seat by pulling this up, actually getting the 2 seat screws out. Your solo seats will all be mounted this way. Now, like I said, we do not have the seat nut back here in the fender. So I jumped on Amazon and I bought one for around $9. Now this does poke up through the bottom, and then you have a retaining clip, a plastic retaining clip that clips onto the top. And I'll show you a little trick about getting that installed. We're going to take a piece of painter's tape, put it right on the edge of that so we don't scratch the paint back here, but we have to get underneath this and pop this cap out. Here's the little nut that comes up there in the bottom, and you can see it's got a little nipple right here at the top, and there's a cutout in the fender for that little nipple, and that's what keeps that from spinning while you're putting your seat nut in. Now there's really no way to get your hand in there and get that pulled up into place, so what I'll do first is just pull my left saddlebag. Just makes this a little bit easier so we can see where that string and that chain's going. We're gonna take a small piece of rope. I use this for pulling wires through handlebars. We're gonna poke it down in there, get our string pulled through like that. We're gonna put it through the seat nut first and grab a washer or a nut. You're gonna put that through there, tie a little knot, and we're gonna pull this up through. Now when you get it up here, you'll have to kind of grab it and turn it into place. You want to get the nipple lined up with the cutout in the fender. Then we'll take our retaining clip and we'll push it onto the back side like that. Then you can just simply drop this back through and pull your washer off. Now your ST set up for a 2-up seat. A little close up of that so you can see that nipple, how it's sticking up through the fender. Now we just took out 2 seat nuts off of that seat, but Ciro provides their own because it actually has a 5/8 nut on the bottom, and I'll show you how to use that. On the front side of the Ciro seat, of course, you got the cutout there for the bottom of the tank bracket here. This is that front clips right to that. So we're gonna slide that into place. Now this is a part that can be a little bit tough at first because the seat is new and it's a little bit stiff, but we're gonna grab the back of this seat and we're gonna pull it up just like that. We're gonna get this nut started. Don't be afraid to really squeeze this thing just to get the seat out of the way. You're not going to hurt anything. You just need to get in here and get the nut started. I really recommend getting a ratchet wrench for this. It's going to be a 5/8, but you slip that on over the top and we can just ratchet these down. This goes a lot smoother. I also recommend keeping a 5/8 ratchet wrench in your saddlebag. If you're ever on the side of the road and you're having to take this seat off, this wrench is going to come in really, really handy. And I did an entire video on building your own do-it-yourself Harley toolkit for the touring models. I'll put a link down in the description down below. But on these touring models, it's important to keep some, pretty basic tools with you. It's very cheap to build, so make sure to check out that video as well. So that gives you a real good idea of what the seat looks like in its solo form. And just to mention, all 3 of these pieces are sold separately. You don't have to buy all 3 of them. So I'll put a link to each one of them in case you want 1, 2, or all 3. Before we install the passenger pillion back here, I want to show you how to install the driver's backrest on this seat. So this can be ran 1-up or 2-up either way. And the design by Ciro 3D is pretty unique, so I want to go over the install. But we'll cover the actual driver's backrest first. As you can see, the pattern for the whole seat follows through on the driver's backrest, so all 3 pieces match. So on the back side of this, you got a Velcro patch that you can open, and your passenger can put a cell phone back there, or you can put something back there, either way. But that's the driver's backrest pad. But now we have the driver's backrest stem that goes with this. And if you've seen these in the past, they look sort of like this. And you have to take off your seat. You have to install this big contraption that's mounted to the fender and then put your seat back on, and then this slides down in it. With the Ciro seat, you don't have to have all of that. This seat actually has all of that built into the seat. So you just simply slide this in. And this is adjustable. This can go in, it can go forward, it can go back, up and down. So I'll show you how to do that when we get to it. But when you get it out of the box, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna take this top bolt and this nut off. Now with this stem, it does push forward, so you want to make sure that you have this pointed in the correct position. These 3 cuts should go towards the front of the bike. That way the driver can push that forward to get it out of the way. So we're going to pull this little pocket flap up. We're going to take the stem, we're going to set it in here. We're going to put that leather piece in first. We're going to set this into place. So we're going to set our piece in. We're going to put our little metal tube in. We're going to line everything up. Going to push it through. Our nylock nut goes back on. Going to go ahead and snug that down. Then we take our flap and put it back over the metal and tuck it back in just like that, and then that is installed. Now in the back of the seat, you got the opening right here. You can pull that forward and you can see the spot where this goes. You're going to just simply line that up and push it in. So we got the first one, you got the second one, and then you got the third one. That's all the way in. Now, this is gonna be right up against your back. Now, if you notice on this side, you've got a thumb screw right here. So you wanna take the set screw and back it out pretty far. Make sure that this thing is all the way back and then flip it forward. Now, to adjust it to your back, it's pretty easy. You're gonna have to set on the bike, and then you take this set screw and you start screwing it in. And what that does is it starts pushing this forward. But if you want it a little more forward like that, you just push it where you want it and then move your set screw in until it bottoms out. Now it won't go back any farther than that. If I want it a little bit more, we're going to move it a little bit more, turn our set screw until it bottoms out. Now that is going to be right up against my back. So really that's just going to take a little bit of adjustment to your back. You're going to have to ride the bike, get a feel for it, and see where you want it. It's very easy to adjust. If you want to take this off, just simply pull it out just like that. Now before I get any comments about how easily that came off and what keeps somebody from just walking by and stealing your seat, nothing. Here's one from Harley Davidson. This is an adjustable one that you can purchase, pretty expensive. And all I have to do is poke my finger down into the seat hole, push this over, and this comes off. So there's absolutely nothing stopping anybody from stealing any of this if they wanted to. This one just has it where you have to pull pretty hard to get it out versus this style where you've got just a little clip that you have to push over to release it. As far as the two-up portion, the bolt that goes in the back here, you can buy a security screw that goes into that. It comes with a little special tool that you have to take the seat off. Now the problem with that is pretty obvious. If I can buy it on Amazon, so can somebody that's out stealing seats. All they have to do is just have that little tool. It's like $8 on Amazon. You get it literally with the screw. Nothing that I'm aware of is out there that's stopping people from stealing seats or backrests. So just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do now is install the passenger pillion. As you can see on the bottom of this, the rear piece is actually turned around and bolted down underneath the seat to keep this from poking out and poking through the boxes, right? And it has a tag on here that tells you to remove this before you install it on the bike. So all we're going to do is take these two screws out. We're going to cut the zip tie off. The little instructions, we don't need that. This little rubber washer goes on later, but we're basically just going to flip this around. You can see on one side of this, the holes are flat, the other side is beveled. Make sure that the beveled side is facing up. So when you put the screws back in, they are beveled down into that bracket and they're not scratching your paint. Now back here on the back of the bike, once again, we're going to lift this up. We're going to slide this into place. We're going to hook those on those nuts. Now once again, because this is an ST, I had to purchase that seat bolt separate because like I said in the beginning of the video, this just comes only one up. So if you want to do this two up and you purchase that fender nut, go ahead and get the fender nut that has the seat bolt with it. We put our seat bolt in and we secure it. Now we're secured for two up. Just get this lined up, feel in between the seats to make sure it's in its proper place, and then click it down into place. Now, when your passenger's on here and they want a little bit more room to get on and off the bike, simply push this forward like that, and they can get on and off the bike. When you push it back, it goes right back into the position that you locked it in with that set screw in the front. So now that the seat is on the bike, you can see right here on the front sides how this is contoured in. You still have a lot of padding down here to protect your legs and give you some comfort on the inside of your legs. But when you roll up to a stop, when you got a fatter seat up here in the front, it kicks your legs out and you're gonna end up on your tiptoes. So they've designed it to contour and come in, so when you pull up, it gives you more stability when you come to a stop. Now, like I said, perforated material up here that's going to allow for breathing. We've got gel inserts. We've got that recessed backbone down the middle that's going to help alleviate that tension on the bottom of your spine, your tailbone. And with that being recessed down a little bit, it is going to allow for a little bit more airflow through there. So kind of cooling your stuff, if you know what I mean. If you notice back here on the passenger pillion how flat this is, most seats that you purchase, the back side of this passenger pillion is going to start to tilt down. And maybe you are riding one up and you want to carry more luggage. Maybe you have a tour pack on the back here and you've got luggage in it. You got luggage on the top with one of the Ciro suitcases, but you want to put more. With a flatter backrest back here, you can actually stabilize that luggage a lot better. So if you've got these rounded edges and the contours down in the back, your load back there is going to just get wanky going down the roads. So one other thing to note real quick is this seat sets you back a little bit farther. Now if you're short-legged like me, I'm 6 foot tall, but I'm a little bit short-legged, and I was worried about that being set back farther. You don't have to worry about that because it is a lower profile seat than your stock seat. So it all kind of works itself out in the long run. Now I will mention this, if you're changing your seats and this sets you back a little bit farther and you feel like you're having a hard time reaching your handlebars because your OEM seat or whatever seat you had on your bike has got you pushed up onto the tank more, you may need to adjust your handlebars. And it's pretty rare that I've had to adjust handlebars because I changed the seat, but it's just something to keep in mind. So that's pretty much it. That is the Ciro 3D ASR seat, the passenger pillion, and the driver's backrest. I just wanted to get them all on here so you could see what they look like on the bike. Now we are running this ST as a 2-up model, and I may catch a little slack on that because you don't see too many performance baggers out there that are set up for 2-up, but me and my wife ride 100% of the time together, and we're building this performance bagger, and I want to make sure that she can enjoy it as much as I do. So it will have the 2-up seat, and we got the rear passenger pegs, like I said, as well, from Torque on here. So the biggest thing on this seat or any new seat is to make sure that you spend the time to break in the seat. Do not buy a brand new seat, pop it on your bike, ride it 2 times and go, this thing's uncomfortable. You really have to take the time to break in the seat. So if you have any questions on any of these parts back here, you know the deal. Comment section down below. I'll try to help you the best that I can. I'm going to get out of here and get myself back to work. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, as always, be safe. Keep your knees in the breeze. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe popping up over here. And don't forget to check out the rest of the channel because we have a ton of bagger related and soft tail videos on our channel. And to get you started, maybe you can check out this one or this one. I'm not really going to say anything else. You can just click one of those and take you over to another video.